The small bookstore in Savannah, Georgia, was unusually quiet on a rainy Saturday afternoon. Sarah, a middle school teacher, sat at a table with a stack of books, trying to plan her next lesson on a tight budget. The school's funding cuts had left her scrambling to provide materials for her students, most of whom couldn't afford supplies. Her tired eyes scanned the prices, each one a reminder of how much she was already sacrificing. A blonde woman in a wide-brimmed hat and a flowing trench coat walked into the store, her presence subtle but magnetic. She wandered through the aisles, picking up books and flipping through their pages with practiced ease. As Sarah debated whether to purchase a book on world history or skip lunch to afford both, the woman noticed her pained expression. "Tough choice?" she asked, her southern accent gentle and familiar. Sarah looked up, surprised that someone had noticed her struggle. "It's just, I'm a teacher," she explained, her voice tinged with embarrassment. "I want to buy these for my students, but it's adding up." The woman nodded, her eyes filled with understanding. "Teaching's a hard job," she said, leaning slightly closer. "What's your subject?" Sarah smiled faintly. "History," she replied, gesturing to the books. "I try to make it interesting for the kids, but sometimes I feel like I'm failing them." The woman tilted her head, a spark of admiration lighting her eyes. "Sounds like you care a lot," she said. "That's what makes a great teacher." Sarah blushed, grateful for the kind words. What she didn't realize was that she was talking to Jennifer Aniston, one of the most celebrated actresses and advocates for education. Jennifer's eyes lingered on the stack of books, her mind already forming a plan. "Let me get these for you," she said, her voice firm but kind. Sarah blinked, stunned by the offer. "Oh no, I couldn't possibly let you do that," she protested, her cheeks flushing. Jennifer raised a hand, cutting her off gently. "I insist," she said. "It's a small gesture for someone who's doing such important work." Before Sarah could argue further, Jennifer picked up the books and carried them to the counter. Sarah followed, still processing what was happening. As Jennifer handed her credit card to the cashier, she turned to Sarah. "What's your name?" she asked. "Sarah," the teacher replied, her voice soft with awe. "Well, Sarah," Jennifer said, smiling warmly, "you're about to have the best lesson materials in town." After paying for the books, Jennifer handed Sarah the bag and asked, "Do you mind if I join you for a moment?" Sarah nodded, still overwhelmed by the encounter. They sat together at a small table by the window, the rain pattering softly outside. Jennifer asked about Sarah's students, her teaching challenges, and her dreams for her classroom. Sarah spoke candidly, sharing stories of her students' struggles and triumphs. "I just want them to know they're capable of so much more than they think," she said, her voice cracking slightly. Jennifer listened intently, her admiration for the teacher growing with every word. "You're doing something extraordinary," Jennifer said, "and I want to help." Jennifer reached into her bag and pulled out a small notebook, jotting something down before tearing out the page. "This is my assistant's contact info," she said, sliding the paper across the table. "I want to send your school some supplies, books, tablets, whatever you need." Sarah's eyes widened in disbelief. "Are you serious?" she asked, her voice trembling. Jennifer nodded firmly. "I'm very serious," she replied. "You shouldn't have to do this alone." Tears welled up in Sarah's eyes as she clutched the piece of paper. "I don't even know how to thank you," she said. Jennifer reached across the table, squeezing Sarah's hand gently. "Just keep being amazing for those kids," she said. Over the next few weeks, Jennifer stayed true to her word. Boxes of books, art supplies, and new technology arrived at Sarah's school, each one sparking excitement among the students and staff. The story of Jennifer's generosity quickly spread, thanks to a colleague who shared the news on social media. The post went viral with people across the country praising Jennifer's actions. "This is what real heroes look like," one commenter wrote. Sarah, however, remained focused on her students, using the new resources to create dynamic lessons that captivated their attention. "Miss Sarah, this is the coolest lesson ever," one student exclaimed during a history project. For Sarah, the joy on her students' faces was the greatest reward. Jennifer's involvement didn't stop there. She visited the school a month later, surprising Sarah and her students during a history lesson. The classroom erupted in cheers as Jennifer walked in, carrying a stack of signed books for the students. "I hear you've been working hard," she said, her smile lighting up the room. The students eagerly shared their projects with her, each one inspired by the new materials. Jennifer took the time to speak with every child, encouraging them to dream big and never stop learning. "You've got a great teacher," she told them, glancing at Sarah, who was beaming with pride. The impact of Jennifer's kindness rippled far beyond Sarah's classroom. Inspired by the story, local businesses and community members began donating supplies to other schools in need. Sarah, now a local celebrity in her own right, used the attention to advocate for better funding for public education. She started a campaign called Empower Our Educators, partnering with Jennifer's production company to raise awareness about the challenges teachers face. "This isn't just about my classroom," Sarah said during an interview. "It's about giving every teacher the tools they need to help their students succeed." Jennifer continued to support Sarah's efforts, attending fundraisers and sharing the campaign on her social media platforms. The initiative gained national attention, with schools across the country benefiting from the funds raised. Sarah often reflected on how a chance encounter in a bookstore had transformed not only her classroom, but her entire community. "Jennifer didn't just buy me books," she said during a speech. "She reminded me that what we do as teachers matters." Years later, Sarah's campaign had raised millions of dollars and helped countless schools. Jennifer and Sarah remain close friends, their bond rooted in a shared passion for education. During a special event celebrating the campaign's success, Sarah took the stage to thank Jennifer. "You saw me when I felt invisible," she said, her voice steady but emotional. Jennifer smiled, her eyes glistening. "You were never invisible, Sarah," she replied. "You were just waiting for someone to notice." The audience erupted into applause, their story a testament to the power of kindness and the ripple effects of believing in others.